Hello. Welcome to this new video. This time we are going to be talking about the different types of penetration testing or pen test that you can find out there. Now, a penetration test or a pen test is a simulated cyber attack performed by security professionals known as ethical hackers. And the purpose of that is to identify and exploit vulnerabilities in a computer system, network, or application. The goal, or the ultimate goal, is to uncover weaknesses before malicious hackers can exploit them. So, a pen test is a test or a simulated test that an organization is going to have performed against their security systems. Now, usually pen tests are performed by pen test companies. Now, the fact that you are good with computers, that you know a couple of tools, does not qualify you as a pen tester. As a matter of fact, if you want to run a pen test, there is a lot of documentation and paperwork you need to create. And not only that, there's a lot of legal aspect or legal things that you have to think of before you as an individual performed a pen test. If you're going to be doing that, it's possible maybe a company is going to hire you a as a security consultant to perform a pen test. But if you're going to do that, make sure that you cover your know what by doing all the proper documentation and doing all the proper uh, research before you do that. Usually, pen tests are performed by companies with a legal team, large organizations that are specialized in doing that. And if you want to become a pen tester, like a professional pen tester, you may want to work for one of these companies. Or if you know how to sell your services, you can do it. But most likely, if you are an individual, let's say a consultant, even if you're a consultant with a company that is only yourself, you do have to have the proper legal paperwork in place when you do this. So let me bring this image one more time, because when it comes to pen tests, we have let's say three different type of classifications, right? When it comes to black box pen test, we have white box pen test, and we have gray box pen test. Now, when it comes to pen testing, let's say that you're looking for a company that is going to help you with a pen test, and you're calling up, you're not going to ask them, I want to run a black box pen test, can you help me? Or I want to run a gray box pen test, can you help me? That's not how the conversation goes, right? They're going to be asking you questions. Are you going to come up with an engagement that is going to work for you, for what you want to do? But when it comes to, and again, if you are into cybersecurity and you are into taking tests for various certifications, if you come across one of the pen test questions, they may ask you, oh, what is the difference between a black box and a gray box kind of things. That those terms, those definitions are mostly for the exam. That's not something that you are going to see in real world conversations, at least not like that, right? They're not going to be asking you again, like I've been through multiple pen tests, and in none of them, if we hire a company to do it for us, or if I do it, we're not going to be, the topic is not, I want a black pen test, I want a gray pen test. That's nonsense. That's stuff for beginners, that's stuff for tests. When it comes to doing the real job, like the conversations goes into different things that you're going to be talking about. So let's talk about this. So when it comes to black box pen test, what it means is that the tester, in this case the company that you're hiring, or you in this case if you're the one performing the test, you have no prior knowledge of the system. They just tell you test our defenses or test our systems, and you have to do all the work. You have to do all the work finding out information about the host, doing open source vulnerabilities assessments, finding all that information that you can find about that specific target, and then you build your case in that way. That is similar to what a potential attacker would do. And I wouldn't say 100% similar, because if a potential attacker is going to attack a company, most likely they've already done some type of reconnaissance on that. So they're not going to go blank, like, okay, like guess our systems. They have an idea of what it is. But in your case, if you hear that somebody is referring to a black box testing pen test, it means that they have no clue as of what is it they're going to be testing. They have to figure everything out. When it comes to white box testing, the tester has full knowledge of the systems to simulate an internal attack. So this is something that you, as a security engineer, security administrator in an organization, you would be doing, because when you do the testing, when you run the vulnerability assessments, when you're testing the configurations of the security controls in your organizations, you do have an idea. Or maybe you are the one who have done the configuration and you know what the configuration is supposed to do and not do. So white testing is that you have information, or if you're gonna hire a company to do this for your organization, you provide that company with information about your systems. Perhaps not information about the security settings and controls that you have in there, but you're going to provide information about the network, the IP addresses, the services running on this, the applications running on this, so on and so forth. That is white box. And then we have what is known as gray box testing, and this is where the tester has partial knowledge of the network to conduct the attack, right? So, as you can imagine, gray box is going to fall between white and black. So that's what's going to happen as the tester is going to be performing different type of configurations. They have an idea of some settings, but they don't know it all, and they hope that once they're able to break into one system, they're going to be able to move laterally into the other systems to see how far they can get. So let me come over here to this spreadsheet where I have created columns for this. Again, the black box, knowledge given to the tester, no knowledge, simulated attack, external attacker starting from scratch. Obviously, most likely a black box test is going to be an external test where an attacker is going to be testing the publicly facing systems, and then depending on how it goes, they may be able to compromise one of those systems to gain access to the internal network. This is the most realistic when it comes to seeing what a potential attacker would do in an organization system. It is time consuming, limited coverage. Real attackers often gather information quickly with OSINT. So that's something to keep in mind. And when it comes to pen tests, they cost if you hire an organization. And depending on the organization, the engagement may be for days or weeks, and the longer it goes, the more it is going to cost, especially with a black box test that is going to require more time. We have here gray box, partial knowledge, some diagrams, limited credentials or user level access, insider with limited access, or an attacker who already phished a user. The advantage of that is that it's balanced, efficient testing with realistic scenarios, is deeper coverage than black box, and limitations on real world nodes. It's not exhaustive as white box, but what do we have here? Let's pure realism, since the attackers don't always get the exact level of access. And then we have white box that you have an idea of what it is. So that is for you to have an idea. Again, if you're going to be running a pen test and you could do it, you have to select your target and make sure that you have the proper permission for that. Now, running a pen test does not necessarily mean that you are hiring a company to do that. You can do it yourself with the proper tools to test specific network, and you could be a pen tester. But the profession or the job of a pen test is a job in and of itself. It's not only a function that you would do. Like, I am not a professional pen tester, but I do pen testing. And I do a lot of them, right? I test the application, I test the codes, I test the networks on regular basis. But that's just a function of my job, not necessarily that that's all I do. If you like pen testing as a career, it is very lucrative. It's really good. And as you know, I mean, like, if you have an inclination for all these things, you'll be okay. You only have to land a job in one of these companies, but you'll be fine. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that pen test covers a lot of things, and this is something that is discussed during the engagement. There are other type of tests that you can do, right? You can do external pen test, internal test, web application testing, wireless pen test, social engineering pen test, red team engagement. So don't think that a pen test is gonna cover everything. When you are in the engagement process of the test, be it that you are in the process of contracting a company to do this for your organization, or that you're going to do, you have to define your target, and then you have to use the proper tools, and you have to use the proper methodology to perform the test. So I hope that this has giving you a deeper understanding of what a pen test is. And I know that a lot of people that follow my channel, that you watch my videos, you are either a network administrator, engineer, or you are like into cybersecurity, or you want to get into cybersecurity. And I hope that this information was useful to you. Again, if you want to find a career as a pen test, you have to follow one specific career path. For that, it would be useful for you to obtain certain certifications. But I have to be honest with you, if you pass or if you obtain certifications like Certified Ethical Hacker, or even CPENT, or even OSCP, that those certifications don't necessarily qualify you as a professional pen test. That's a skill that you have to build, right? I mean, it's good to have those certifications if that's what you want to follow, but becoming a good pen tester, a security professional, those are skills that you have to build with time. But we all have to start somewhere. So if you already have those certifications, congratulations. If you're going for them, go for that. I wish you the best, and make sure that you're clear in your career path so you end up where you want. Thank you for watching. If you found this information useful, all I ask you to do is to click on the like button, consider subscribing to the channel. You can also leave a comments in the comment sections, because that helps with the algorithm. Or if you know of anyone who can benefit from these videos and from this channel, please feel free to share that information as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you on the next video.